Hello, hockey fans. Well, the second round, already arrived yesterday. Yeah, but due to the shenanigans of the schedule, this preview is going up now. Even though, like I said, one game in round two is already kicked off. It should be a very interesting Elite Eight this year, mainly because, well, kind of similar to 2 years ago, which is a good omen for me. Um, Similar to 2 years ago, it's kind of top heavy. No real big upsets. Only one third place team advanced, and it's going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be pretty interesting. No Cinderella this year. I mean, it's good to have those Cinderella runs, but it's also always good in hockey to have those rare years where the top teams actually advance. So we'll see how it turns out. But here we go, previewing the four second round division final series. Let's start with the Atlantic, shall we? This was the only true hole in my bracket. I didn't get either one of these first round series in the Atlantic correct. As a result, we have two frauds going at it: the Boston Bruins and the Florida Panthers. Now, Boston's going to be out for payback big time because this is a rematch of last year in the first round. Because we all remember, Bruins won 65 games, 135 points, set big records, and they were up 3 games to 1. Marchand was this close to breaking away and clinching the series in 5 games, and then when he was stopped, the floodgates opened. 4-1 Game 5 in overtime, blasted him in Game 6, and won Game 7 in overtime. So yeah, and Florida turned that into Cinderella run all the way to the Cup final when they were 3 wins away from winning it. Yeah, so Boston's gonna be out for payback. Problem is the Bruins kind of they almost did again. Almost, it was almost exactly the same with just a few less goals. But Boston barely survived the Maple Leafs. They usually don't barely survive the Maple Leafs. Yes, history says it goes 7, but usually Game 7 kind of turns out kind of dominant for Boston. This wasn't the case, and that tells me as faulty as the Panthers are, and they are kind of faulty, they're going to make mincemeat out of Boston. I just have that feeling. I don't think this is going to be a long series. I think Florida's going to really give it to them. I say it goes 5 and Florida takes it. But unless someone other than Pastrnak and Marchand actually show up for the Bruins, it's not going to be a long second round trip to Boston. Yes, I'm aware this series actually did start yesterday, but even so, it's good because I think this is going to be a long series. Because Carolina Hurricanes, New York Rangers, these the class of the Metro, because Metro Division, the rest of the Metro Division was just eh. But it's no surprise that these two teams made it because the Rangers swept a team that was just happy to be there, while the Hurricanes swept a team that only got the third place because the rest of the division was terrible this year. Hurricanes are also out for payback because remember this was a second round matchup 2 years ago, and I remember it was a series where all the home teams won until Game 7. Rangers went into Raleigh and mollywopped them, but this should be a good series. This is going to be a good, long series, but I don't see Carolina winning it. Carolina's good, but there's something about the Rangers, especially this year. They seem to be on a mission. And no, it's not because of the President's Trophy. No, it's not because they got the President's Trophy. Though, history says they should make it far even with that trophy. Because remember, the last 10 years of President's Trophy fails, the Rangers in that group from 2015, they're the only team in that bunch to actually make it past round two. The others lost in round two, and some like Boston did last year, lost in round one. But yeah, the Rangers have a pretty stacked team. They have the best, really the best goaltender remaining in this year's playoffs, and Igor Shesterkin. Um, Game one was an indication that this is going to be like a goal-filled series, even with Shesterkin and Anderson being in the net for their respective teams. I don't see any shutouts happening in this series, but I think the Rangers should take it a very close nail biter. I really do. At long last, we have our opponent. After my fellow Avs fans were enjoying seeing Vegas and Dallas just mollywop each other. It's all set. Stars and Avalanche. It's always interesting when those two get together in the playoffs. This is the 6th playoff meeting between these two teams, and Dallas has the upper hand. 99, 2000, of course, the bubble was another 7-game winner for them. But it's gonna be pretty interesting. Some would call it a mismatch, even though Dallas is the better seed, because Dallas hasn't really scored a lot. Well, to be fair, who has scored a lot compared to what the Avs have done? But yeah, Dallas hasn't really scored much. A couple of key players, Duchesne and Rupe Hintz and Pavelski, they didn't really do much in that 7-game series. Matter of fact, Pavelski's not even on the score sheet. And this is coming off a year where he had like a hell of a postseason. But I think he had 4 goals game 1 in that second round. As for us, we are tearing it up. We just gave the likely Vezina winner this year. We gave him nightmares. He's gonna have nightmares after that series. We put up 24 goals on him. We scored 28, but 24 of them went past him. We're scoring 5 goals a game. Now, I'm not saying we're gonna keep scoring 5 goals a game, but we need to just keep doing what we've been doing. It's been working so far. Yes, game 1 was the one hiccup we all remember, and everybody was very worried and upset at Georgiev, but then Georgie turned it up. He turned it up, and the goals didn't stop. And here's the scary part about this: the Avs have 28 goals. Only 6 of them combined have come from McKinnon, McCarr, and Rantanen. That means that means the depth scoring has become very, very dangerous. Nichushkin has 7 goals already. He has 7 goals already. Lehkonen has 5. Even Parise, who's on his last year, he's going to hang it up after this year, he's got 2. We are a very dangerous squad. Despite this is going to be a long series. I say it goes 6 because I don't want it to go 7. but I say it goes 6, and we should take it. We really should. I mean, it's not a slight against Dallas. I mean, Dallas earned that division title, but the Avs we're just on a whole nother level. Just ask Carter Hellebuck. If there's anything the last 40 years has taught us, is that it's always fun when the Canadian teams get together in the playoffs. This year will be no different. We have the Canucks and the Oilers facing off in round 2. That's gonna be a hell of a series, though. A lot of people say, well, Edmonton's going to destroy Vancouver. Are you sure about that? Because this is usually when the Oilers kind of hit their dead end and get their own way. I mean, yeah, McDavid and Draisaitl, yeah, they're tearing it up. They're averaging 2 points a game again in the playoffs, but they're going to be let down again because that's usually how it goes. Plus, Vancouver, they have a high-powered team. They could take home possibly the Norris and the Vezina this year, possibly. Though I kind of think Hellebuck is going to probably most likely win the Vezina. But and Demko will be back in this series. They say he won't be back for game 1, but he'll be back for game 2. But plus, they still have a whole bunch of good players. I think Vancouver should take it in 6 games. They really have the right stuff. But again, it's gonna be fun. Like I said, Canadian teams clashing. It's always exciting. So that is my preview of round number 2. If you like this video, click the like button. If you're on YouTube, click subscribe if you want more. If you're on TikTok, feel free to hit that follow button. My story on Vocal will be featured. Check it out where you can. And again, to recap my picks, Panthers at 5, Rangers at 7, Avs at 6, Nucks at 6. Those are my picks. So I'll be back later tonight to recap game 1 between Florida and Boston. So stay tuned.